It is time to go outdoors with our conservation educator, Julie Gabrielson, for today's edition of Elko Live. Julie is our conservation educator with Nevada Department of Wildlife. And welcome. This is kind of the highlight of getting out and enjoying all kinds of activities.
It is a great time of year, isn't it? And we've had some fantastic weather, a little cool down last weekend, and now we're back right into the heat of it.
Yep, it's
so
Nevada.
Happy June, now July almost.
Yes, and you know, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but we have had snow in July before. So I know.
I know it though.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, I mean, we can avoid that, but we need to be careful because, you know, fire danger's high and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too,
you always need to be prepared for what might come because we don't always know when those chance storms are going to come in. Because I mean, like our forecasts the last couple of weeks, they really haven't shown big thunderstorms or anything coming in, but I know every night, the last couple of nights over the Rubies, we've had some storm clouds. I haven't seen anything at my house, but looking at it, I mean, it looks like it's going to try to get something over there.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a real light show. So diving into conservation education, which is always the thing.
And we're busy. And we've got free youth licenses for those of you that aren't aware of it already. Thanks to a lot of generous donations made by organizations as well as just members of the public to the Nevada Youth License Fund. We have a youth combination license that allows the holder to legally fish in Nevada for 1 year from the issue date. And in combination with completing their hunter education course, it will also roll over to being legal to hunt with. It'll be a hunt-fish combo at that point. Now, Nevada regularly sells the youth combo licenses to anyone 12 through 17 for $15. But if you go in, you can do it online or you can do it in one of the offices, and you can take advantage of that right now for any of your youth that need a license right now.
And hopefully they got a taste of that during Free Fishing Day.
Yeah. Free Fishing Day was great. We had one over at Cummins Lake and then another one at Carlin Chinese Gardens. And that was last weekend, the weekend before, a couple weeks ago at this point, I think. So, absolutely. We hope that more people are wanting to get out there. Yep. Great weather for it.
Oh, great weather. And of course, a great family activity, low impact, low cost. And that leads right into the Angel Lake Kids Fishing Derby.
I know. Can you believe that's been going for 32 years?
I can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Angel Lake Kids Fishing Derby, it's July 19th. It'll start at 7:30 in the morning and run till about 12:30 in the afternoon. Obviously, there's going to be fishing. We'll also have several education stations that all of the kids come through, as well as awards and prizes for certain fish catches. 4 to 15 years old is what we're looking for, and you must have an adult present. Fishing license is required for the kids that are over 12, so bring your pole and your bait and get ready to fish and learn some great things and have a great time with the Kids Fishing Derby. The registration forms can be found on site that morning, and you can register right there, or you can pick up in advance at the Elko NDOW office, Nevada Outdoor School, Elko Fly Shop, Wells Rural Electric, the U.S. Forest Service offices in Wells and Elko, as well as the Wells Family Resource Center. If you have any questions about it and you want to reach out ahead of time, you can contact Nicole Hamlin at 775-777-2388.
Nice. A lot of sponsorship in this event. That shows a lot of confidence in the Fishing Derby.
It is. Yep. It's a great event, and we average 75 to 125 kids each year. And it just flexes depending on what else might be going on that weekend. But it's normally a really busy weekend up there, and we've got a great number of kids that come up, and they all have a lot of luck fishing and catching as well.
So thanks again to everybody. And you know who you are if you helped to found the 32nd now annual Angel Lake Kids Fishing Derby, a huge success and continuing to delight families everywhere. And then another family opportunity, right, is coming up later this month. This weekend.
It's actually this weekend. Yep. It's this weekend. So the Robbers Roost Guzzler Build, all day on Saturday. You can join us tonight, though. You can head out tonight and join us for the full weekend of camping and eating and working. But it's Elko Bighorns Unlimited. They're a big partner in this event for us, and they help us build a 10,000-gallon big game guzzler, and it targets elk, mule deer, and many other wildlife species. And this one's in White Pine County. The site's about 14 miles north of Mount Grafton. That's in Hunt Unit 222. So come out. You can come out for just the day, or you can join us starting this afternoon tonight at the base camp, and then we'll wrap everything up mid-morning on Sunday. Meals are provided. We do a tri-tip and chicken dinner on Saturday night. There's also a raffle that's hosted by Elko Bighorns Unlimited, and it's usually a great time. It is family friendly. We encourage you to bring the entire family if they want to come. We can find a job for anybody at the site build, and have a good time over the weekend.
Nice. And thanks again to the Elko Bighorns Unlimited. Julie, what a great partner.
It is. They are such a great partner. There's actually a secondary guzzler build that's happening real close to it. And so we're all camping together, but it's also, that one's Nevada Bighorns Unlimited. So we've got both groups there who are both just great contributors to the Department of Wildlife and our volunteer programs, as well as a lot of our other programs.
Nevada Department of Wildlife is a great partner with youth activities in the community, Julie, and that's ongoing too this summer.
It is. So we've got wild readings happening at the Elko County Library. The next one is going to be July 16th. That's at 1 o'clock. There's no need to register for the event. You can just head on over. The craft supplies are limited to the first 25 participants, so you do want to get there early. July's reading is going to focus on the North American porcupine. And it involves, it's all a wildlife theme short story, as well as an educational presentation and a hands-on craft. So if you need more information on that, you can call Nicole at 777-2391. We've also got an intro to archery class coming up on July 23rd. That's going to be hosted at the Elko Archery Club range. It is free to the public. We do limit it to a certain number of registrants, though. You do need to register ahead of time, just to make sure that we have the proper amount of equipment, and volunteer instructors as well. So you can register for the event at register-ed and then look up Nevada and archery. For more information on that, call 777-2305. We provide all of the equipment and all of the training and show you how to work with a safe environment.
And that leads right into the basic archery class that's coming up later in the month.
Yeah, so basic archery instructor, a BAI, is our certified instructors that we actually host the class for the NAS program. That's the National Archeries in Schools program. That certification allows those instructors to bring it into the schools, because a lot of times these are teachers that are doing this and want to incorporate it into the curriculum somewhere in the school, which really opens up a whole bunch of more opportunities for the students that are participating in it at that school. So on July 30th, we are hosting another one of those classes at Flagview. It is free, and it will get you certified by the end of the class, but you do have to pre-register for it, and it's a hybrid class, so we do about 4 hours in person, and then there's an online portion that has to be completed as well. So if you want more information about that, you want to get involved in this program, whether it be as a volunteer and helping out with our after-school program, or taking it to a school that you are, a parent of, a teacher at, an administrator, it really is open to anybody to be a certified instructor for us. Give me a call. I'll get you signed up, and we'll talk through all of the details and what comes along with it. But that number is 777-2305.
Julie Gabrielson is our conservation educator with Nevada Department of Wildlife. What a great opportunity. And then, of course, everybody knows, who's got a big game tag and maybe who doesn't, and who's part of the camp crew.
Yep. And anytime now, the actual second draw results should be coming out anytime now. If you haven't already gotten them, just keep checking your emails, because it's going to happen soon. But with the big game tag results out, people are getting excited, and they're getting out there and beginning to scout. So just be aware that several of the roads might be washed out. There might be difficult access areas because of road issues. So just be aware and be prepared for when you're going out there. Also keep the vehicles on the existing roads and trails. Please don't make any new roads. The second, in the past 2 weeks, the department, along with many partners and volunteers, we actually trapped 140 sheep, bighorn sheep, out of the Muddy Mountains. That's in Hunt Unit 268 down south, just north of Vegas. The operation was triggered by the extreme drought conditions experienced in recent years down in that unit. All of the sheep were transplanted, some to the state of Utah, some to the Tobin Range, which is Hunt Unit 045, and then 58 of those sheep were sent to the Cortez Mountains, and that's in Hunt Unit 141. We did have one mortality in transit, but otherwise all of them were in pretty decent shape once they hit the road out of the trailer. To date, all of them are collared, they're alive and exploring their new home. Some of them, as soon as they jumped out of that trailer, they might have gone a couple hundred yards and immediately started eating.
Oh, great.
So bless their hearts, right?
Yes.
It was actually, that project was a multi-decade effort to restore the state animal to a native range for them in the Cortez Mountains.
Well, and congratulations to all who worked on this, volunteers, to biologists, certainly to Caleb McAdoo. I know that this was an important project to him, and he had a tremendous amount of support on this, Julie.
Yeah, it was a lot of effort from a lot of different people. So.
Yes. So, and it's a way to conserve the species, not just for hunting, but certainly for future generations, just for wildlife watching. Nice to know they're out there.
Yeah, it was great to see them jump out of the trailer and find their new home.
Cool. So under operations, of course, they're always busy there in the office at NDOW.
They are. Natalie and Sydney, they definitely have their work cut out for them. If you have general NDOW questions, you can always call the front office, 777-2300. They're going to transfer you to wherever you might be better suited, or they're going to be able to help you. They are very knowledgeable up there, and they can handle a lot of different questions. Some things to keep in mind, especially after talking about the new youth fishing license and the free fishing license for youth. First-time children's licenses, you need their social security number to create the account for the license sales. So if you're coming into the office or you're doing it online, you need your social security number to be able to do that. Many things you can do online through your NDOW account, and that's at ndowlicensing.com. If you drew a tag in the main draw, you should receive it by probably the first week of July, so sometime next week. Keep an eye out for it. So if you don't get it, if you haven't received it yet, get on top of that early so that when you're heading out for your hunt, you don't realize I don't have a tag. I never received it. So get ahead of it early, and you can do duplicate prints on those tags. Your license is good for 1 year from the day that it's issued. So if you purchase that online, auto renewal is automatically selected for you. You do have an option to unselect that, but that does mean that you'll have to make sure that you remember to renew that each year afterwards.
Yeah, super convenient. And the fact is that you can keep it on your mobile device too. You don't have to have a piece of paper.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. You just have the screenshot of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there are some things that NDOW, believe it or not, does not do. And I'm sure you would if you could or had the authority or the people.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't handle OHV registrations and inspections, and we do not process state park passes. So for the state park passes, you'll either need to go online or to the park itself to get the passes for the state park passes. Some other things to think about is out-of-state dealership and business boat sales. You must pay the sales tax through the Nevada Department of Taxation before you can register and title it in Nevada. Now, we do boat titles, but the taxes do need to go through the Department of Taxation for that. Now back to boats, yard sale boats, buyer beware. If it doesn't have a title, you're going to have some work cut out for you in order to be able to use that boat. There are some things that can be done to get a title for it. It's not quick, it's not easy, and there are some times that it's not possible.
Wow. So beware and get more information, as you said, from Department of Taxation, or certainly boat licensing, I guess, would be through NDOW, but then who else would help you find a title? I guess Department of Motor Vehicles?
Not necessarily on a boat, no.
Okay.
To my understanding, and I'm not the title expert, I need Natalie in here for that one. We can search titles.
Okay.
Yeah, we can, NDOW can search titles. And Sydney and Natalie can.
Yes,
I
yes.
cannot.
Biologists cannot.
But yeah,
Yes.
they can. There are some resources that we can find titles if in fact it's been previously titled somewhere. Sometimes, but again,
don't take a chance.
Don't take a chance.
All right. Good advice from Julie. And of course, Nevada Department of Wildlife. So that kind of covers what goes on in office. And then if you're out in the field or out on the water.
Yep, because it is boating season. AIS check stations, that's the aquatic invasive species, those check stations that you see and a lot of people drive by. You might not realize those are mandatory, and they are per NRS a mandatory requirement. One time a season is not enough. You need to stop by each time you go out. Fines can actually be imposed for those that do not stop.
They just found some golden mussels at a boat going into Tahoe. So that's why it's so important to do this.
I didn't see that.
They stopped it. So, but that's why they have the check stations.
Yeah, it is. It's really important because they can do the full wash. They can lock it down so that it's clean. It's known as clean until it goes into the next water.
So if you do get out on the water, you have to make sure you're outfitted properly.
Correct. Boating safety. It's essential. Wear your life jacket. Those life jackets, they save so many lives. They're required for paddle boards, kayaks. You still need to wear them on those. We have fatalities every year with these watercrafts, and they really can be prevented with the PFD use. They are required for 12 and under to wear them no matter what vessel you're in. If anybody over 12, the life vests need to be accessible on the boat, not tucked in underneath a bench that's got a big cooler on top of it. You need something that's easily accessible for those that are not wearing the life jackets that are over 12. But again, anybody 12 and under is required to wear those PFDs.
And then, of course, the rules apply on the water, too, about drinking and operating the boat.
Yeah, don't drink and operate your boat. Parents, really keep an eye on your kids when they're in the water, including the older teens. Things happen fast, and we just want to make sure that everybody's, on top of things and having a good time and staying safe out there. Some other things to keep in mind when you're out and enjoying our beautiful country. Keep those OHVs on public lands. Stay on those existing trails and 2 tracks. Very muddy in certain areas right now, so we want you to recreate responsibly and respect the private property. If you don't get permission, just don't access it. And if you're out there and you're seeing something that just doesn't seem quite right, you can call our Operation Game Thief. That's 800-992-3030. That is not specific to big game violations or things that you think might be going on. You can call in other things that just look a little off. You can also use our NDOW tip app and report there. And you can do both. You can give your name on either of these sources, or you can call in anonymously.
Thanks, Julie. Again, that's an important way to help protect the resource. And then, of course, it is still the time of year where we see a lot of baby animals or even some other critters out there that might attract our attention.
Oh, yeah, those baby birds, they attract a lot of attention. I have a whole bunch of baby quail at my house right now.
They're so cute.
Yeah, and killdeer nearby. Yeah, they're great. But if... There's many things that go on with baby birds this time of year. Birds spend a portion of their life on the ground. When birds get too big for their nest, they're actually kicked out of the nest, and they typically can't fully fly at that point. So they can be on the ground for a couple days, sometimes even more than that. It's really important at that point for their development that they learn how to use those wings and forage for food on their own. So if you see a baby bird on the ground, don't assume that it is helpless. It may look helpless, but there's a good chance parents are nearby. They're paying attention, and they probably have more than one baby bird on the ground. So they're bouncing between all the kids, trying to make sure everybody's taken care of as well as themselves. So if you see a baby bird on the ground that has feathers, leave it alone. Let it be. Let Mother Nature do its thing, and the parents are very likely nearby to take care of it. They need this time to gain the skills that they need to be able to survive. So its best chance of survival is with its natural parents. So just let it be. All
right. Tough advice sometimes, but it is crucial to helping that bird best survive.
It is. Yeah. And, and right now we've got a lot of heat right now. We're having hot days, lack of the precip out there. We may be seeing more birds that seem to be struggling than usual, especially like the fledglings, the ones that have been, they're no longer in the nest, but they can't fly yet, or even bats. They'll likely seek shade and water. If encountered, again, just try to leave them alone, let them be, and keep any pets away from them if you can. Bats, they may choose to roost on the exterior of your home for a day or two, oftentimes under the eaves or on like a window screen. If they appear to be sleeping and it's up and away from where pets and people can't get to it, just let it be. Just leave it alone. It's very likely going to move on. Very few bats have rabies. Rabies come from contact with those with rabid individuals. So simply just let it be. Don't touch it. However, if you encounter a bat that's in your home, or a bat acting really unusual, crawling around on the ground during the day, that's the time to call us. That number is 777-2300, and we'll come out and we'll survey it, and we'll determine if it's something that we need to be concerned about, potentially even need to take it in for testing or not. Another really great, cool thing that's going on with bat season right now is it's our acoustic survey season. What that is where we've got bat detectors that record the ultrasonic echolocation calls that bats make as they fly around at night. These are placed all over the continent to document the distribution, the habitat, the population status of bats in North America, all kinds of things we can learn from this. So to learn more about this really cool program, you can check out the North American Bat Monitoring Program at, are you ready for this website? nabatmonitoring.org.
All right, that's the whole thing. That stands for North American Bat Monitoring Program.
It is.
Yes.
Yep. It's great.
And I do know some bat fans in the Elko area, and so I was telling them that on occasion NDOW or another group has collaborated to do like a little tour or something on the south side. Do you know if they're going to do that again in the fall?
I don't know if there's plans for that just yet. I know there's been a little bit of discussion, but I don't know if anything has come to the schedule yet.
Keep listening on future programs, because if it's going to happen, you're going to hear about it. So
yes,
thank you, Julie.
You will. And we've those monitors that we just talked about, we actually have several out around Elko County.
Good. So go to that website, and then that might help you out to find out if you can, be a volunteer. I mean, there are just some people that really want to help the species, which is always cool.
It
It's
is, and they're really important to our ecology.
Oh, definitely. They eat. They're weighting much more in insects every year. If only they would eat Mormon crickets.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Mormon crickets are almost as big as the ones that we have around here.
Exactly. It's a good thing Mormon crickets don't have wings.
Yeah.
So here we go. So another amazing opportunity here in our high desert is to get out to any of the fisheries. Julie, and NDOW does such a great job in keeping them stocked.
We do. And trout stocking is just about complete for the year. Our guys have been running from one end to another of the area, getting everything stocked and ready for the summer. Our high lakes like Lamoille Creek and Angel Lake, they'll all be stocked probably next week sometime, early July. Fishing has been great in all of our area waters. Streams are still a little high, but they are clear and they do have pretty good flows. Things to remember, anglers fishing for trout, remember that it is warm water, or the water temperatures are rising is what I should say. And those warmer temperatures can be really stressful on the fish and even lethal. So if you're targeting trout on any of the area reservoirs, and when you land that fish, quickly and really minimize the handling in the attempt if you're going to release it. So just keep that in mind with the warmer water temperatures and trout specifically.
But have a great time, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
yep.
yeah.
I mean, and if you have to take it home to eat it, I
know, yes.
Trout's pretty great fish. And then, back to boating season, it is in full swing. So just reminding you once again to keep that boat clean, drained, and dry, along with stopping at the AIS checkpoints.
All right. Those are some of the responsibilities when you're out there fishing, whether it's in the high lakes or, of course, your favorite local reservoir.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then that gets us to out on the landscape, Julie.
Yeah, and fire season is upon us, so really, really have a lot of awareness when you're out there. The fuel loading across Nevada is extremely high. That's from the last couple years of the precip that we've had. Many of the fires start along roadways and often from preventable situations. So really be aware. Like I said, be aware of it when you're out there in the field. Be smart about it. Make sure your chains aren't dragging. Remove any brush from the undercarriage of your vehicle. Maintain your vehicles, ensure the tires and brakes are in good condition. Make sure your vehicle is stocked with correct equipment to be able to help put anything out that might start from your fire. We've talked in the past, I've known people that bring tarps with them, and they actually lay the tarp out and park on it in this time of year. Have a fire extinguisher, have extra water, have those supplies handy with you, because even if it's not you that does it, somebody else might have an issue that you need to help out with, that you might come along.
And then you can put another important local number in your cell phone.
Yeah, so it never hurts to have an extra number in there. The interagency fire dispatch number is 775-738-4000. Save it in your cell phone. Have it handy for when you're out in the field if you need to contact local dispatch and report something.
And there are apps you can download too, because that can give you information. Firewatch, I think, is one. And then if there is an active fire, you can get details on that before you head out, because you don't want to be in the path of something or, hampering any firefighting efforts.
Correct.
So that brings us to a cool summer. If you want to be just like Julie and her amazing staff, you want to grow up to do Julie's job. Yes.
It is a pretty cool job.
She's always smiling, you guys. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a morning that I wake up and think, ugh, I got to go to work. No, I wake up and I'm excited to go to work every morning, even when it's 3 a.m.
Exactly, which sometimes that requires.
It is, yep. Yeah. So we have, watch for the position announcement in probably July sometime. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to put it out there for our Wildlife Educator AmeriCorps member. We usually have one every year that helps us out in the eastern region here. And the position normally starts in late August, September sometime. But the announcement will come out in July, and we'll start taking out resumes and handling some of the interviews and seeing who we want to bring on board with us. Some of the requirements that you'll need is you're going to support classroom programming, field trips, community programming offered in the Elko area. So you must have a high school diploma or the equivalent to it. The ability to multitask in a fast-paced environment. Good writing skills, strong communication skills, and strong organizational skills. Your primary responsibilities, like I said, you're going to support some of the classroom programming primarily, but we need you to have a high degree of initiative and spirit of service, because we are out in front of the public quite a bit. You're going to facilitate wildlife education classroom programming on a regional basis. You might help develop and conduct diverse community programs that include family activities, connecting people to wildlife. There's all kinds of variables that we might have you help develop some programming. You're going to assist with the Trout in the Classroom program throughout the school year, and that's also at schools. And then you're also going to assist in facilitating some of our other programming that might roll over, like angler education, hunter education, archery education, and those types of events. So you're a big part of the team. Even though you are primarily in the classroom programming, we really do what we can to get you out and experiencing much more than that.
So it sounds like a great entry level, a step up maybe?
Absolutely. It is definitely an entry level position. It does not guarantee a position with the Department of Wildlife, but it's definitely a good experience for somebody that's looking for this type of work, for getting out into the natural resources, whether it be on an education basis or even as a biologist.
For example, AmeriCorps usually offers a small stipend and then an educational bonus, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, at the end of the term,
yes.
Yeah, they get a bonus as well.
Yeah, so It's a short-term offering, but it sounds like it could have big implications for someone's future.
It could. It absolutely could. So, for more information on that, you can get a hold of Nicole St. John. She is the primary lead on that particular program for us. Her number is 777-2391.
That's great, Julie. Thank you as always. A wonderful visit. And we have just a couple minutes or a minute or so left. I was going to ask, you are a person that takes your dogs with you, or you have 2 dogs, right? Or more than 1 dog. You take a dog with you.
Yes.
and so any tips on etiquette? Because I know people love to get outdoors with their dogs. Some people say leash, no leash. I mean, is there a general? You're experienced.
I'm experienced out there with dogs. And so I think the biggest thing that that you can do on etiquette is be courteous of everybody else that might be out there on the trail with you. If I'm alone on the trail, my dog typically is not on a leash. I make sure that she doesn't leave any mess on the trail. I, clean up after her and make sure that she's not going to impede on anybody else that might be on the trail. If I see somebody else coming along the trail, she heels at my side. Sometimes she gets on a leash. I do have a second dog that I take out. She doesn't heel quite as well, so she always goes on a leash when we might come across somebody else on the trail. So it really comes down to being courteous to others that are out there using the resource. Clean up after them. Keep control of those animals. A lot of times you might be out at the lake and you've got your dogs running around with you and they're just kind of doing their own thing. And a lot of people, it's not an intentional thing, but they lose sight of the dogs for a minute because the dog sees another dog and they want to go play. And not all other dogs are friendly.
Right.
And so it just creates some chaos. So if you're going to have your pet out there with you, it's your duty to be on top of it and pay attention to what they're doing as well.
Well, Julie, thanks again. That's great advice. And again, it's hopefully helpful for dog owners of all sizes, whether you've got your little Yorkie out there or your big lab that loves the water. Yep. It's all about thinking about the experience for other people too.
It is. Yeah. I always have leashes on me. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't see my dogs on a leash, I have one wrapped around, over my shoulder.
And you have control and command of them no matter what. So.
Yep.
Julie, thank you for the time today. Julie, of course, Gabrielson is our conservation educator at Nevada Department of Wildlife. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.